Gillian the Savage Robertson joins me now as she's coming off a huge win, submitting Cortney Casey via RNC in round 3. Gillian, how are you?
I'm doing great, coming off the win and just trying to get back in there. I'm anxious.
Yeah, you're saying you just got out of a 2-a-day. You've been really getting right back in there, getting that work in. Are you hoping to jump back in and maybe fight on Fight Island soon?
Oh, yeah, I would love to get on Fight Island. I'm going to be competing at Sub Underground on July 12th, and then hopefully I get the call for a fight soon after that.
Well, let's talk about this win over Cortney Casey. It was a very impressive win. I believe you set the record for most finishes in the women's flyweight division ever. So congratulations there. Did this basically turn out the way you anticipated it would, with you getting your hand raised via submission?
Yes and no, I guess. I'm happy that I got the finish. I was happy that I was able to get her out of there because she's a tough opponent, and I believe that's the second time she's ever been finished. So to do that, I feel like is a big accomplishment. But I would have loved to do it in a little bit more of a flashier fashion, I almost dropped my phone. Sorry. I would have loved to be able to get a little bit more ground and pound off, do a little bit more damage on the ground. So I don't feel like we saw the best Gillian Robertson out there, but next fight we're definitely going to be able to see that.
Now, did I hear this right? She said in between the first and second round that you were like a wet blanket.
Oh yeah, she whenever she got up and she turned to her corner, she's like a fucking blanket. I was like, hell yeah, I am. Like, that's exactly what you want to hear. I'm like, you should probably wait till you get a little bit farther away, but it was probably also pretty quiet. Like, it's a weird scenario fighting with no crowd there at all.
Yeah, I was going to ask, I mean, for you to hear something like that coming from your opponent, that must make you feel even more inspired and confident in what you're doing inside the cage.
Oh yeah, like when you hear things like that, you know that they're breaking mentally. When they're thinking that, they're not thinking about their own offense. They're not thinking about trying to win the fight still. They're thinking about, like, how do I get her off of me?
So in between the first and second round and the second and third, what did Coach Dean Thomas tell you? What was the game plan that he wanted you to execute?
Honestly, I haven't watched back the video, and I feel like it's kind of weird. It's like a different world in there. I don't remember everything. So in the corner, I don't really 100% remember exactly everything he was saying. I know that we're sticking to the game plan. He was telling me that I needed to move my head more. I remember during the fight, actually, he's like, move your head. And I was just like, I hear you. I'm like, I probably should have started moving my head then.
Now, I got to imagine, I mean, a win's a win. You got your hand raised. That's the most important thing. But without the fans there, fighting in front of the fans, that's really got to take away from the excitement a little bit, I guess. I mean, I've never stepped inside the cage. Tell me, how different is it to fight basically kind of like on The Ultimate Fighter in a sense? You're at the Apex and there isn't any fans in the stands.
Honestly, I felt like awkward celebrating. Like, whenever I got to finish, it was just like, it's just so silent in there, it's a weird scenario, and like I like, it's different when you have the whole crowd there cheering with you, but whenever it's just you, I feel like it's also, I don't know, it's just a very chill. I was telling my coach, I'm like, it was awkwardly chill in there, like just weirdly relaxed.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, I did a little bit of research preparing for this interview here with you, and we actually have a couple of things in common. Well, the first thing is our love for pizza. It's your favorite food. It's my favorite food. I mean, who doesn't like pizza? I have to imagine after a big win, you celebrated with some za. Where did you go?
Oh, we actually, me and Hannah Goldie, after we ordered a pizza, and there was like 10 different sizes to get. So I was like, what size do you think we should get? And she was like, oh, 30 inches sounds good. And then when we got it, we didn't realize how big that was. And like, it took 2 of us to carry it. Like, it was absolutely huge. It was just obnoxious, but it was definitely a great way to celebrate.
What's your normal go-to place? If you're home and you want to get some pizza, where do you normally go?
Oh, there's a lot of different places. I'm actually in the process of moving right now. So right now I'm trying to find all the good areas around my new spot.
Well, back home where you were previously, is there a spot that you can suggest?
I move around a lot. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, again, pizza's pizza. Everyone likes pizza. So another thing that I learned, we have the same favorite TV show, Impractical Jokers. Now, I'm a Joe guy. He's my favorite. Who do you like the most?
Uh, I feel like Joe is just like the most ballsy of all of them. He's the one who used to go. He'll go for anything. But I'm also a huge Q fan. I feel like he gives Joe good competition there.
He does. And he's got a good sense of humor, like a real dry, funny sense of humor. I mean, all in all, that's such a great show. Did you watch the movie yet?
No, I haven't. I haven't got a chance to do that, but I've seen like every single episode.
Yeah, well, you got to get in on that movie. That's something that I'm sure you'll really enjoy. Now, obviously, everyone knows your head coach Dean Thomas. You guys left ATT. Can you just give me an update on that current situation and what has training been like for you?
So I'm getting a lot more one-on-one time with my coach. I don't work with a lot of training partners really necessarily, just a few specific ones, and a lot of that has to do with the coronavirus. And slowly we're getting back to being able to work at different gyms. I've been working with Renato Tavares in Jensen Beach and at Gamblers Jiu-Jitsu in West Palm. And then, but 95% of my training is just done at Dean's house. Like we have, he matted out his whole garage and that's just where we've been training. And I've really seen myself excel over these last few months because I've been getting so much one-on-one attention with a coach.
Yeah, I understand. You mentioned Hannah Goldie earlier, and you also had Shorty Torres training with you. Having those elite fighters there to sharpen your skill set, what dimensions or what did they add to your game getting ready to step in for this last fight?
No matter what, I feel like it's always good to get different looks, different types of bodies, and especially people at such a high level like Hannah and Shorty. And this morning I was working with Zoila Frosto. So it's like all high level people that we're still getting to work with. And I feel like it's Dean that's really adding to my game, though. It's Dean who keeps on adding new tools and who's consistent with me drilling every single day, and that's why I'm building myself.
Yeah, I've had the pleasure of interviewing Dean a couple of times. I mean, what a great guy and obviously a phenomenal coach. Can you point to one specific area? Like, what makes him such a great coach? Why is he so elite outside of obviously his great skill set as a mixed martial artist?
I feel like generally coaches, they teach, like, it's like, this is the way it's been done for years. So this is the way that you're going to do it. You're going to do it this one way. And that's the only way that works. Where Dean's like, if it works for you and it works 95% of the time, you can go ahead and do it. So he lets you like mold your own game instead of like trying to force his game plan on you. And I feel like that it lets fighters shine. It lets us like, he's not going to force me to be a striker. He's going to let me use my striking to set up my jiu-jitsu because he knows that's where I'm going to finish fights.
Mm-hmm. Any update on Dean looking for, I guess, a new facility to set up shop and have your gym? Or is that basically just kind of, it's going to be week to week until the future kind of unfolds and this pandemic is behind us?
No, I honestly feel like this is where we're going to set up shop. This is how it's going to be. We're just going to keep on training out of his garage. Like Shorty's going to be living at his house now. He has a 4-bedroom house and he's the only one there. So it's like the other 3-bedroom fighters to stay there and then just come and train.
So you're talking about you have a competition coming up in early July. You're staying sharp. You're staying active. I did mention Fight Island earlier. If you can get back in there and make that trip to Abu Dhabi, is there a name or two that comes to mind that you'd like to step in there and fight next?
Yeah, Dean and I were just talking about it this morning that Antonina Shevchenko, I feel like would be a great matchup for me. And she's 8-2. I'm 8-4, and she'd be another great submission to add to my record. I'm not trying to let these girls catch up.
Do you envision yourself submitting her? Do you think you would get her out of there, or would this be a hard-fought decision?
I think fights in general for me are just a race to get to the throat. So it's like that's all I'm trying to do. And it's either I'm going to get it or I'm just going to be beating her for 15 minutes until I and run out of time, But no matter what, I'm searching for the throat. And a lot of these girls know it's coming and I still get it.
Hey, I love that answer. That's just another reason why you have the record for most finishes in the division. So congratulations again on the win. I really appreciate the time here today. If you want to plug your social media or thank anyone, the floor is yours.
Go ahead and follow me at savage_UFC on Twitter and Instagram. And just always thank you to my coach, Dean Thomas, all the training partners that helped me. And a shout out to Renato Tavares, Jensen Beach, Gamblers Jiu-Jitsu, and Dan Donaldson for always, they opened their garages and their gyms for me all through this corona. So it's been a huge help, and I just can't be more thankful for them.